It is great. Let's start with the rest of the playoff games real quick. And, Ball, I'll let you start on this one. If you're watching, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is totally free. Ball, you can start wherever you want between the three other playoff games. If you want to start with Mahomes beating Allen on the road,
I mean, we
Baker,
kind of talk. Listen, I think Josh Allen is a hell of a player, and I know he played well yesterday, but he's got to be better. I mean, that's it. He's got to win. He finally had Mahomes in his place. And I thought they threw the. I thought the game plan was terrible. I thought they took him out of his rhythm by running the ball as much as they did. And I know they've been a good running team. You can't just run the ball and beat Patrick Mahomes. You can't win that way. You got to. And Josh Allen, you got to let him cook. And I thought they got him out of rhythm. And that last drive, guys, it was like they didn't know what they wanted to do, whether it was to kill clock or just score. Or it's okay if we get a field goal, or we got to get a touchdown. It's like they weren't. It's like they confused themselves.
Was the ghost of last year in their heads? I thought it was, and they showed it in the open to the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I forgot how great it was, but I kind of forgot how great it was.
Yeah.
They scored what looked like was the touchdown to put them in the Super Bowl. You talk about. By the way, I know that the Browns say we're haxed, we're cursed. No, the Bills are cursed. The Bills are cursed.
Oh, yeah.
As much as we can feel sorry for ourselves,
I'll be sick.
This team lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah.
One on a missed field goal.
That kick last night was like.
I know it was. It was like the curse gods went, no.
That was crazy.
And it's crazy because now, 30 years later, they've got another Hall of Fame quality quarterback who's built to win in this kind of weather and they can't get over Patrick Mahomes.
And their crowd was bananas.
Their crowd was great. But as I'm watching it at the end, I'm with you. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is what you last year when you scored and there were 13 seconds left. If they played that final 13 seconds out 1,000 times, I think the Chiefs win once.
Right. And
they did it. And so I'm wondering, Bull, because I was saying the same thing. What are we doing here? The first objective has to be score the touchdown.
Get them out of here.
You can't play clock games.
No, and you can't play for a field goal.
No, you cannot.
You know that Mahomes is going to score a touchdown or at least score a field goal.
Right. And I just thought they took their foot off the gas.
They did.
They've got the guy.
Right.
But they're not using him properly.
And then they did. And listen, he missed a couple of throws.
He did miss
They had a couple of bad drops.
But overall, I thought he played well enough to win the game.
I'm going to say the biggest thing that stood out to me was Stephon Diggs.
Man.
I know.
What's he doing?
Stephon Diggs, you can't have 18, 20 yards. You drop the ball right in your hands, 2 hands. This is a problem when you got smallish receivers that ain't really that fast. Because now, when I knew he was a wrap for him, when they start putting him in an Elijah Moore role in the backfield, giving him tosses and sweet, I said, since when is Stephon Diggs got to get the ball like this? That's because you're not getting no separation.
Right.
And if you got Josh Allen, I'll be trying to tell y'all, if y'all want to win in this AFC, you got to overdo it. You got Stephon Diggs. Your number one goal should be finding another receiver that's as a headliner. Forget all the rest of that stuff. Because if you get 2 guys, now Josh Allen you're in trouble.
How about that touchdown throw he made on 4th down to Shakir and the great catch?
Yeah.
At first I was like, no way he's in bounds on that.
I didn't think he was either.
That was a great play, but I just didn't understand. But I thought Allen, on that last play before they tried the field goal, he threw to the end zone. You got to get a first down there.
Yeah.
Don't go for it all on that play.
I see teams do that a lot, and it surprises me. Go to the sticks.
Yeah.
Move the chains.
Yeah, Jay, you did say it. Pacheco, he's now emerged as a guy because they literally have a run game now.
They do.
And he runs hard. Rashee Rice is a rookie, number 1 receiver. He's the number 1 guy. And you got to give credit to where credit is due. Kelce showed up. We saw Kelce. It might not have been vintage 2 years ago, Kelce, but that Kelce was good enough to get it done.
He's still damn good.
He's still good.
Yeah.
My
favorite part about the weekend was Jason Kelce.
Oh, he was pumped.
What you were seeing in real time was a guy who's been pretty buttoned up for his entire career. Take off his shirt, throw back a bunch of beers, and absolutely.
And then he jumped in the crowd.
I know he did. It was like, what is this guy? And I loved every second of it.
Did you see before the game when he was tailgating?
It was like it was almost like he's saying, I'm living my fantasy.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do this.
Yeah. Right.
I'm always in the games. I can't look at this. I mean, it was unbelievable.
People are hating on him. They're hating on Taylor. Leave Taylor Swift alone already. Leave her alone. She's having fun. Who cares? My only beef was with Patrick Mahomes' wife's hat. That was very disturbing. Her hat was extremely disturbing. Besides that, I got no problem.
I don't want to switch the game, but one thing that hit me from the weekend games was, man, these Lions got a lot of talent.
Oh my God.
That
team's good.
That Jameer,
very good.
That Gibbs.
Now that's a team
fast.
with
That dude
loaded
has
skill position.
He
talent.
got different speed.
They made a comment, and I'm hoping you guys can fill in the blanks because I haven't studied it closely enough. When they showed, what's her name? Sheila Ford.
The owner.
Sheila Firestone Ford, the richest name of all time.
Yeah,
that name
no kidding.
oozes
You
$1
on
billion.
Firestone and Ford?
What's crazy to me is they talked about her bringing together the football side and the business side. And I don't know what that meant.
Yeah.
But they were effusive in praise for her on how she's run the organization, how she's gone out and hired the right people for the right spot. I love Dan Campbell, guys. If I could pick any coach right now in the NFL, now he might have a burnout rate.
Yes,
Because it's a little John Gruden-esque. And I was told by some folks that covered the Raiders, love them early because you're going to hate them later. And the players will too. And they burned out on John. And he might have that going on, but I love him right now.
He's done a great job.
Oh,
his emotion, I worry in a big spot could get the best of him.
I agree.
But there's a lot more good than bad with Campbell.
I mean, he has.
It's not the Sirianni emotion. Like the meltdown in Philly was dealing with an over-emotional coach.
Yeah.
I think Campbell so far has been channeled in the right direction, but I do worry that there could be a spot where he just loses it.
You know what's
the wrong
awesome
way.
about him is, and I think more people need to be this way, and we're so in our camps about everything. He is a football meathead. And he's all in on analytics at the same
he's both.
time.
He's a good combo.
He has found that perfect combo, and it works.
And after that whole debacle in Dallas with the reporting and not reporting, they could have flamed out after that.
That's true.
That could have spiraled a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But they got great offensive line, 2 good running backs.
Two good receivers, a great tight end.
Let's
They've
throw the quarterback in there
rejuvenated
too,
Jared
guys.
Goff.
I think the quarterback is a big part of their
Jared
success.
Jared Goff
out his mind.
Was a bust
Yes.
as a first-round pick, and now he's the most underrated
And
quarterback
think
in the
about
NFL,
it. Think about his journey. You talk
Yeah.
about NFL creates these storylines in a lab somewhere. His journey this year, should it culminate in a Super Bowl, it's already partly come true. The guy that he was given up for came to the new team, the Rams, and won a Super Bowl, making it seem like Goff was holding us back.
Right.
And now you fast forward a couple of years, and although the Rams deserve credit for being back in the cycle that fast, the Rams come to Detroit, and you talk about the ultimate redemption story.
Right.
I mean, that would be the equivalent of Baker beating the Browns in a Super Bowl.
Right.
Trent Dilfer beating.
Right.
You know, he won one for the Ravens, but he won it in Tampa Bay.
I
think it goes to
neither
show.
team is unhappy with that trade.
I think you're right.
Well, it worked out well for both teams.
Particularly that Detroit's still up here.
And I think it goes to show that just sometimes a quarterback and a coach
It's not the right fit.
Yeah, not the right fit.
And
And
listen,
it's not
Jared
even
Goff's
a problem
not-
for either one. Just
Right.
Jared
better
Goff's not a
issues.
top 5 quarterback, but he's in that second group.
He's
he is
absolutely
cemented
in
in
the
that
second
second group, and he's good enough.
Yep.
And he's good, and he's not perfect, but he's good. But their skill position talent, Jahmyr Gibbs is
Stud.
one of the most skilled running backs
He
in the
is
league.
fast.
He's fantastic. Montgomery is a different type of back. He's good, solid player. At wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown is fantastic.
Yeah.
We haven't
team
even
All-Pro.
mentioned Hutchinson is like, where is he? Where does he rank now among pass rushers?
Yeah, he's
Because for me,
He's not in that top tier, but he's in the second.
he's not, but he's breaking that ceiling. He's going to
And-
be in it very quickly.
and-
He's only not in it because he's not established.
Well,
but
and their offensive line is one of the best in the league. Their offensive line's great.
Yeah.
Their tight end is arguably the best young tight end in the league. I mean, who's ever had this good a rookie season as a tight end?
I think it's the
No,
best
it's
rookie
the
season
best-
we've ever seen by a tight end.
It's
might
in the
be.
top. Bull, his tight end season, Laporta by the numbers, is a top 5 pass catcher rookie season ever. We're not talking tight end.
Yeah.
We're talking receivers.
Where's Hutchinson ranking sacks, by the way?
I think he had 11.5, 9.5.
Yeah, he was below
9.5, 11.5. That's a nice jump.
Yeah, that's
you would
like
expect that progression to continue.
Yeah, and their D-line
They said
is
he's
good.
added that spin move.
Yeah.
Which he said he added this during the season, which I love. And a lot of his sacks late in the year came off that spin move. Now we get to see him with that spin move for an entire year.
Yeah, he's going.
So
And
you
I give
expect that
Baker
number to get
credit. I
bigger.
thought Baker, listen, he threw a bad pick at the end of the game. The first pick was tipped. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
The second pick was bad throw, but he was in a tough spot, and the guy made a great play. Baker played very well in this game.
The touchdown,
overall played well. He missed a few throws like any other quarterback's going to be.
big touchdown to Mike
But
Evans.
overall, he played well. And there you go. He's going to be a starting quarterback. There was some random Twitter handle saying the Bucs are going to pay him $45 million a year. There's
That's
no
nonsense.
chance that's
No,
true.
He
they
just
won't.
trying to,
But-
Baker, I've been trying to get you that 30
Yeah.
for a minute. Is he now back to the 30?
I think he could be.
Yeah, I mean, he like I don't want him. I'm not giving him a 5-year deal, but maybe he
No, I'd
gets
give
like
him a 3-year deal, and I'd give him
3-year deal.
close to 80, 90 million
If I'm
dollars.
the Bucs, I'd stick with him.
Well, they have said already that
I
they
don't
want
love
him back.
Baker. I don't agree. He's definitely not a top 10 quarterback, but he's in the middle. He's a mid-tier quarterback, and if you put a good enough team around him, who knows? I don't trust him in a big spot, but the bottom line is the guy had he had a good season. And I'm not going to crap on him.
Did you see
he's
any
a
of
flawed
his-
player,
his-
but I'm not going to crap on
His
him.
pregame, and I think, by the way, I can disagree with nothing that you just said, other than I do think he's bottom tier in the top 10, just because he was in the top 10 of all the stats this year. But let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
when I was watching it, I was thinking, I wonder what Bowles says about this.
Yeah.
I am seeing a different Baker Mayfield off the field. I
Well,
think he has changed some
I
things.
do think he has, and for all the people that want to kill the Browns, and I think at the time what the Browns did made sense. Obviously, it hasn't worked out on the Watson front, but I don't know if he would have changed had he stayed on the Browns.
Listen, Bull,
He probably had to
I don't think
go
he
through
would
what he went through.
I think what happened to the Browns ultimately was
Yeah.
the best thing that could have happened to him. And the Panthers. That had to be
Yeah,
really
he went
humbling.
through the last 2 years were awful.
They were humbling.
He
if
played
nothing.
poorly. He was hurt. He didn't get it done. He looked silly at times with some of his comments, and he has bounced back and had a nice
The one
season.
comment that I said, I got to ask Bull about this. Gardner Johnson, I think his name is, the defensive back for
Yeah,
the Lions,
yeah.
said, it's a nice squad if they had a good quarterback.
Right.
They asked Baker about that, and I think they asked him, were you offended by that? And first of all, his comments to me, instead of firing back and being like snippy back, he was just like, hey, he's a good player. He's been in the league for a long time. This guy's a good player. But I loved when he said, yeah, I'm offended. I've got small man syndrome or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that. It was self-deprecating, and I think it's true.
He needed that. Listen, I'm not going to kill
I
Baker.
want to ask you.
I thought he played well.
I want to ask you guys. Have
Yeah.
you changed your mind about Brock Purdy? And
I was already cemented.
and is Jordan Love now one of those dudes you have to watch
I
out
like
for?
Jordan Love. I like Brock Purdy. I thought saying he was better than Josh Allen. I still don't agree with that. But I think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. I think he does what they ask him to do. I definitely don't think he'd be as good if he didn't have he's got a ton of talent around him, but he's a good quarterback. I think Jordan Love is very good. Although I was watching some clip of somebody who was talking about the 2020 quarterback draft, which is maybe the greatest quarterback draft ever.
Yeah.
I mean, think about 2020. Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Jordan Love, and there's a fifth guy.
I'm still out on Tua.
Who's the fifth guy?
I am. Kind
I
of
don't
too.
think Tua's that
Mike,
guy.
who's the fifth quarterback from 2020?
I'm looking it up right now, but even if you're out on Tua, he hasn't been a bust.
Not a bust.
Yeah, right,
he's
right,
not.
right.
He's not. Doesn't belong in the. To me, anyhow.
But if Tua's the fifth best quarterback in the draft,
that's a great
I mean,
draft. It's like the '83
'cause
draft
there's
class
somebody-
that had Marino and Boomer
Jalen Hurts.
Esiason.
Jalen Hurts.
And
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts.
Yeah, he's the
I mean,
other
think
one.
about that. Tua's the fifth quarterback probably of that
insane.
group. Now, but whoever it was, I can't remember now, said they'd take Jordan Love over Joe Burrow, which I thought was insane.
That is nuts.
Now, I'm very impressed with Jordan Love.
You know what though? That
There's
throw
no way
at
I'm
the
taking
end,
him over Burrow.
That throw
but
at the end is extremely concerning to me.
that was a terrible
That
throw. But he's a
violated.
young quarterback
I
who's
know,
barely played.
but you know that violates the cardinal rule.
Agreed.
He
But
played-
can't do
overall,
that.
He played lights out down the stretch.
think about
He
it.
was great.
Everybody killed the Packers when they drafted him. They were right. They were right.
Oh, the Packers
Yeah.
were
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and
did.
think about this.
Yeah.
You talk about the Steelers and their track record with head coaches, how they just hit on them.
Yeah.
Look what the Packers have done with quarterbacks in their drafts.
They've
Yeah.
hit.
I mean, now they didn't draft Brett Favre. He was the Falcons.
Traded, yeah.
But there were other teams that saw what Brett Favre was that could have gone after him. The Packers went after him. They got him. They had him for 18 years or whatever the hell it was. And then Aaron Rodgers had a long run. And now it looks like he is the next in the succession of great quarterbacks.
And they hit on these mediocre receivers that be good all of a sudden.
They're so funny. You look at their skill position talent. They have like 5. They have nobody special.
No.
Nobody special.
Aaron
Jones is a very good back.
I like Aaron Jones.
He's a very good back. And then they have 5 good, really good wide receivers. None of them are elite.
Romeo Dobbs. I'm like, where did you come from?
Jaden Reed.
Yeah, Wicks. Where did you come from?
By the way, has anybody seen the video where this white couple has a baby and the nurse is black and she's like, well, what are you going to name the kid?
Oh, yeah.
And they say, Dontavian or something like that.
Didn't you send that to the group?
Oh, maybe I did.
like
I don't
did.
remember.
Yeah.
That video cracked me up
great.
when I
It's
saw
very
it.
fun. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Or Jamarcus or Lamar.
It was really good.
Sure.